An enforcer has to sacrifice everything to save a young girl he has befriended from his femme fatale boss, who is involved in cybersex trafficking. Ricky Stray is a backyard fighter who earns a living by putting his life at risk each and every day. Impressed by his zeal and guts, a woman named Estelle calls him to her night bar in Miami. Without going much into the background, the film informs us that Estelle is some sort of kingpin who runs a prostitution ring in the area. She doesn't waste a moment and immediately informs Stray that she herself has fought her way up the ladder, which is the reason she is especially interested in him. He seems like a hustler to her. Estelle teams up Stray with her most trusted hitman, Mr. Kuda, who drives Stray to South Beach to eliminate a target named Ronnie Fenich. Ronnie owes a lot of money to Estelle and has failed to pay her back, which is why she sent Mr. Kuda to finish him off. But even though Mr. Kuda and Stray finish the mission successfully, Kuda doesn't like Stray's amateur working style and thus sends him off. The very next morning, Kuda pays a visit to his 15-year-old daughter, Lola. It is the first time Kuda meets her after coming out of prison. In an effort to mend his relationship with his daughter, Kuda hands her some money and asks her what she wants for her upcoming 16th birthday. However, it is apparent that Lola doesn't like her father visiting her at school and hence quickly takes a leave from there. Later, we find Kuda near a beach, where he meets another 15-year-old girl named Billy, who has run away from her foster parents' house in Atlanta and has come to Miami to start a new life. A woman catches Billy shoplifting, and as soon as Kuda hears the fuss, he quickly comes to Billy's rescue. Kuda takes Billy to a joint and advises her not to roam the streets of Miami, as they are not safe for a young girl like her. Out of generosity, Kuda pays for a hotel room so that Billy can stay there for a week and, in the meantime, find suitable work to survive in the city. He even hands her some cash along with a golden-colored money clip. Kuda saw a glimpse of his daughter, Lola, in Billy, which could be one of the many reasons why he was so supportive of her. Later that night, an unknown man kidnaps Billy from her hotel room, and as soon as Kuda finds out about it, he starts looking for her. He even approaches Stray and asks for his help to find Billy. During a debt collection in a Chinese restaurant, Kuda spots the golden money clip in his hand, which he had given to Billy. Kuda starts following the leads and ends up discovering that it was the hotel manager who had sold Billy to a guy named Freddy, who runs a webcam factory in Midtown. Freddy abducts or buys girls through his corrupt ways and later forces them to do obscene scenes for the internet creeps through which he is earning a lot of money. But even though Kuda finds out that it is Freddy who has kidnapped Billy, he cannot help her because Freddy has paid $500,000 to Estelle as protection money. So, will Kuda raise his arms against his own owner in order to clear his conscience? Absolutely yes. And that is what brings about a much-deserved closure in his character. What happens to Stray, Billy, and Lexus? Kuda tried to convince Estelle to allow him to stop Freddy. However, as it was apparent, Estelle was more interested in money than Kuda's newfound empathy towards the underage girl. She knew it was time for Kuda to retire and thus ordered her bodyguard, Doom, to kill him. Suddenly, Stray arrived at Estelle's office with the bags Freddy had given to him. At this point, Stray had two choices. Either to stay loyal to Estelle and witness the death of his friend commenter, Kuda, or help Kuda and start a war with Estelle. Fortunately, Stray chose Kuda over Estelle, and during the fight with Doom, he unclipped the shotgun hanging on his vest. While Doom was trying to suffocate Kuda to death, Kuda quickly grasped the shotgun and killed Doom. In a fit of rage, Estelle tried to shoot Stray, but suddenly Lexus arrived and shot Estelle. Lexus or Sloane used to work at Estelle's night bar as a prostitute and a dancer, but as soon as she fell in love with Stray, she hoped for a completely different life and yearned to escape. Hence, shooting Estelle meant that not only did she free herself from Estelle's prostitution ring, but also saved Stray from having a similar fate as Kuda. A bleeding Kuda asked them to take the money and run while he went to the old cookie factory in Midtown, where Freddy had kept Billy captive along with several other girls. Quite heroically, Kuda saved all the girls and shot down Freddy's men. However, as soon as he stepped into Freddy's den, Freddy, hiding in the dark, shot him in the stomach. Freddy wanted to see Kuda bleed to death, but fortunately Billy, who had been unlocked by one of the girls, arrived there and picked up Kuda's gun, with which she shot Freddy. At this point, Billy wanted to shoot Kuda, too, as she believed he was the one who had sold her to Freddy, but Kuda quickly cleared her misunderstanding, and together they left the factory, leaving Freddy to die. Kuda drove to a location where he had already called Stray and Lexus, and there he requested Stray to take Billy with him and leave Florida as soon as possible. He ordered him to take $500,000 and travel to a place that is far, far away from Miami. Somewhere no one will ever be able to find them. Stray took his mentor's advice and shifted with Billy and Lexus to a cold region in the mountains far away from the shores. They had built a peaceful life for themselves, and Stray opened an auto repair shop under his real name, Ricky. Once, Kuda had told Stray that he had quite a talent in fixing automobiles. And indeed, Stray remembered that compliment, which influenced his decision to enter into the same line of business in order to live a life worth living. Nevertheless, he had $500,000 with him and could have survived even without it. The enforcer ending explained, "Is Kuda dead?" After bidding goodbye to Billy, Kuda drove to his daughter's school, where he left his Barracuda car for her. It was the perfect birthday present for Lola. At the beginning of the film, when Kuda had asked Billy for her advice on what he should give to his 16-year-old daughter, Billy told him that whatever he wanted to give should come from his heart and, more than that, it should be something that only he could give. We rarely see Kuda without his car in The Enforcer, so it becomes an extension of his personality. The car would always remind Lola of her father since there was no other legacy that Kuda could hand over to her. Soon after leaving his car, Kuda walked to the shore of one of the beaches in Miami, where he took his last breath. The last scene reminded us of the painting that Kuda had bought from a fine art gallery, probably run by his ex-wife. As soon as Kuda saw the painting for the first time, something struck him. In the painting, we see a man sitting by the shore under a tree, living the most peaceful life. Probably, Kuda too yearned for such calmness, which is why we always saw him roaming around the beaches when he was not killing people or collecting debt. During his final moments, Kuda sat under the tree just like the man whom we saw in the painting and died there in peace. In the last scene, we see the same painting in Stray's or Ricky's garage. This suggests that Kuda might not have been able to live a peaceful life himself, as depicted in the painting, but he indeed helped Stray, Lexus, and Billy to live one. By sacrificing himself, he saved 3 lives, and for him, it was his redemption. Thanks to Talkies.